Thank you for tuning in to the Simple Sophisticate podcast, the show that is part of the Simply Luxurious Life online destination, cultivating the art of living well, a life of quality over quantity. Visit the blog, The Simply Luxurious Life, at our simplified URL, tsll.co, or thesimplyluxuriouslife.com. There you'll find the show notes for each podcast episode, as well as much more weekly content to elevate your everyday and deepen your contentment. From a Monday motivational post, recipes, videos of the cooking show series, style and decor inspiration, French and British inspired content, and readers' favorite regular weekly post, This and That, which is posted each Friday morning. Now to today's episode. Welcome to the Simple Sophisticate podcast, where intelligent living is paired with signature style. I'm your host, Shannon Ables. And whether you're listening on your commute, exercising, working in the garden, or sitting down with a hot cup of tea or a café au lait, thank you for tuning in. Let's get started. Welcome to the Simple Sophisticate podcast. And season 8 is about to begin. We are 1 week away from season 8. So I wanted to share with you what the season schedule will be. I have uploaded a PDF and a post with images of the full year's calendar that begins on Monday, September 6th, the week from today, and runs all the way into next August 2022. In just 1 week's time, this podcast will be back. Already, my bookstand is full of all sorts of titles. I shared a glimpse of some of the books that I was exploring on Instagram, our new podcast Instagram account, the Simple Sophisticate podcast. If you want to follow along just on information about this podcast, you can follow along there. You can also always follow along on the Simply Luxurious Life. I will always be sharing podcast information along with everything else that I share. But I am exploring all these different topics, and I'm hoping to bring many of those books to episodes to inspire, to inform, and to motivate you as you go about cultivating your very own unique, simply luxurious life. To check out the show notes for the schedule, to find the schedule, to download it, or to save it, visit thesimplyluxuriouslife.com/podcast season 8 schedule, and you'll be taken to that post. There's going to be more than 20 episodes, and I will be sharing 2 new episodes every single month on the first and third Monday. The only month I'm not going to be sharing any episodes at all, new episodes, will be July, because that's when I'm going to still dedicate my time to producing cooking show episodes as a new season premieres every September. What you may notice is that I'm bringing back episodes to April and more episodes to May, as I had previously taken those months off for teaching. Now, since I've retired from teaching, I am focusing on the Simply Luxurious Life and everything that's a part of the Simply Luxurious Life online destination, which includes this podcast. So every single month, September through August, minus July, we'll have 2 new episodes, the first and third Monday. Now, an extra bonus in November, I'm sharing 3 new episodes, as there's a lot of time on the road and in the air and on the train during the holidays. And so I thought I'd bring 1 more new episode. And as always, any Monday there is not a new episode of the podcast. There will always be a Monday motivational post, brand new post on the blog to kick off the week in a good direction. The podcast now has over 300 episodes in its archives. And this past July, I compiled 4 different bundles that are organized around a particular theme. I will be exploring more topics for bundles as I go into 2022. But if you haven't explored the first 2 bundles, which include at least 5 episodes on that particular theme, and a couple of bundles have 9 episodes on that particular theme, be sure to check out the show notes and click on the link for a particular bundle. So the first bundle is how to begin cultivating your very own simply luxurious life. Bundle 2 is all about how to live a French-inspired life. Bundle 3 is savoring a life on your own, how single living is simply luxurious living. And Bundle 4 is the simple life is a great life, exploring how. And all you need to do is simply go to the Simply Luxurious Life /podcast bundle and then list the number bundle you want. So podcast bundle 1 or podcast bundle 2, and it's the numeric 1, 2, 3, or 4, and it will take you to those individual bundles, which then include all the podcast episodes that are part of that. I'm really excited because in early 2022, a new blog design will be revealed, and part of the redesign is the podcast page, and I will be including the bundles so you can easily access those bundles, find out what they are, whether you want to explore them or not, or return to them. And they'll be on that podcast page. As I mentioned earlier in today's conversation, this podcast has its own Instagram account now. All you have to do is follow the Simple Sophisticate podcast. It's a long handle, I realize, but some people just want to listen to this show. They don't want to get all the updates that I share on the Simply Luxurious Life Instagram account. And so if you're just looking for alerts as to when there's a new podcast episode, guests that are going to be on the show, anything just to do with this show, be sure to follow along. And I provide a link on today's show notes. The simplyluxuriouslife.com /podcast season 8 schedule. You're also going to notice, you probably already did notice, a little bit of a change in the introduction of the podcast. You're also going to notice a little bit different outro. The music stays the same. Don't worry. I love our music for the show. That's not going anywhere. But you're going to learn a little bit more about what is available with regards to this podcast and the Simply Luxurious Life online destination. Over the past year, the blog has become a more focused destination for living simply luxuriously, from the added soft paywall to my change in schedule, but also the newsletters and things that hopefully improve the listener and reader experience. You can also explore what it means to become a member of the Simply Luxurious Life international community. It's the paying subscription for access to the ad-free viewing of the blog, unlimited viewing of the content, and access to exclusive content, the monthly A Cup of Moments video chat with me. That's just wonderful to step into a space that is semi-private. There are norms for how we communicate with regards to making sure whatever you share is kind, helpful, and true. And I respond to every comment, and you get to know each other. People who have similar focus on building their own simply luxurious life. And so many different ideas are shared, not just from me, but mainly from the readers in the conversation section. So if you want to check that out on all the different options, the tiers, the payment plans, visit the simplyluxuriouslife.com /subscribe. With that said, our URL, I've tried to simplify it because it's so long. So I now have a URL that just is the same destination. It's just shorter for you to write in the address bar. Just simply go to tsll.co. So that's tsll.co. And that will take you exactly to where you've always been going, the simplyluxuriouslife.com. But it's just easier to type in. I'm trying to make the directions to the Simply Luxurious Life a little easier to follow. Anyway, I am so excited to get back into this show on Monday, September 6th, a brand new episode. We're going to talk about time, and we're going to talk about managing it, but not in the way you may have been, or we have been accustomed to hearing books and people talk about it. It's going to be about living with more awareness, enhancing our well-being, reducing our stress, not managing it. And I look forward to this conversation because reading the book that inspired this particular episode, which will be episode 311, is helping me too. It's confirming some choices I just recently made. As you know, I just stepped away from teaching and concluded that part of my life chapters, and I'm stepping fully into this chapter, the podcast, the blog, the writing of the books, so much. Anyway, I've talked on and on. I look forward to being back in this space with you on Monday, September 6th. Bonne journée. Thank you for tuning in to the Simple Sophisticate podcast, where intelligent living is paired with signature style. For more ideas and inspiration throughout the week, visit the blog The Simply Luxurious Life with the shortened URL tsll.co. For more in-depth exploration of how to cultivate your own unique, simply luxurious life, be sure to pick up my first 2 books. Each are available in hardback, paperback, ebook, and at Audible for audio listening. The first is titled Choosing the Simply Luxurious Life, and the second, Living the Simply Luxurious Life. And look for a third book to be released in the spring of 2022. Readers can now join the more intimate Simply Luxurious Life international community by becoming members of the blog, which provides ad-free unlimited reading and access to exclusive content such as each month's A Cup of Moments video chat, tours of my home, Le Papillon, the regular monthly post, What Made Me Smile, and Saturday Ponderings, as well as the opportunity to enter all of the giveaways during French and British weeks. To stay caught up on all things Simply Luxurious, the podcast, blog post, and the cooking show, as well as receive exclusive news and an extra dose of inspiration to jumpstart your new month, subscribe to the Simply Luxurious Life's free monthly newsletter, which arrives on the last day of each month. And there's a weekly newsletter, a favorite of listeners and readers, which is also free and arrives each Friday to keep you caught up on the recent weekly posts on the blog. Enjoy with a hot cup of tea or a cup of morning coffee and stay in the know about all things simply luxurious. Thank you for tuning in today, and look for 2 new episodes of this podcast each month on the 1st and 3rd Monday. To be alerted to new episodes and when they become available, follow on Instagram, the Simple Sophisticate podcast, and only the news about this show will be shared. Until next time, I'm your host, Shannon Ables. Bonne journée.